Good morning, distance learners. Today is a different week than we've been used to in American culture, so let me kind of talk you through what we're doing. We're finishing unit number one, The Nation is Born, that we've been working on since pretty much the second week of school, where the United States has fought its American Revolution. We've won that, and we've got the new Constitution written, and that's beginning to work. That era is going to come to an end with the election of 1800. So today, we're doing some of the political parties of the 1800s, so you would kind of have an understanding of what the two parties believe. Tuesday, uh, right now it says on your screen Lewis and Clark, but we're actually going to put that off until Wednesday. Tuesday, we're going to study the actual election of 1800 that turns out in a surprise. Nobody expected what was going to happen, and it was a big disaster. We're actually going to have to change our Constitution with the 12th Amendment to fix the problems caused during the election of 1800. We'll also kind of compare that to today, where we have an election for president coming up here in just a couple weeks. We don't actually vote for president when we go to vote for the president. We're actually voting for electors. The electoral college is the group that actually chooses the president. So we'll talk about that process a bit on Tuesday. On Wednesday and Thursday, we'll launch into unit number two, The Nation Grows. In the early 1800s, America expands and gains a lot of territory, all the way out to the West Coast eventually, and there are a lot of interesting stories about people along the way, some bad stories and some good stories. Also, the United States in Unit 2 will begin to grow in military power. We'll do some stories about that. We will also see how America starts to develop its own culture. American culture up to this point has only been political in nature, whatever we've donated to all of world culture. Kind of odd in a class called American cultures that we haven't really talked about music or art or literature or things like that. So we'll start working on that sort of thing now too, because America will start to develop its own culture. Eventually, by the end of this section of study, Unit 2 will say, look, America has actually made a lot of steps forward, but not everything's perfect. We certainly need to eventually talk about some groups in America who are not benefiting in all the success, especially Southern slaves, new immigrants to the country, Native American tribes. Those people are kind of getting run over in the process of America making a lot of progress. So there's good, and well, we also need to tell the story of some of the bad. Now, I'd like to tell you also, and if I show you on this little document, about some things that are going to change. I don't know if you can read that. Maybe you can. Okay, maybe you can read that. Some things that are going to change a bit, especially about the way we Zoom with each other. Okay, there we go. We've been Zooming at noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but that's going to change this week, where you're actually going to Zoom during your own class period. And you might say, I don't really know when my class period is. Well, let me show you. If you're part of the period 2 class, you're going to Zoom with me at 8:50 on Tuesday and on Thursday. If you're part of the period 6 class, you'll Zoom with me at 12:30. If you're part of the period 8 class, you'll Zoom with us at 2:20. So you're actually part of a class. Now, if you say, I don't really know which class I'm in, well, I will post on your screen here. You'll have as one of your activities on the screen to look at a list of who's in which class, so you know what time you are Zooming. So that'll be on the screen here under a thing called Zoom schedules this week. Friday is a parent conference day, so there's no school. Certainly, you can use that day or any other days to catch up on your trade book reading. We want to be finished with our book and our reading quizzes this week, so we can do some of the culture activities, and kind of showing that we've learned something about the early 1800s or maybe late 1700s culture in America, and can be able to compare that to modern culture as well. All right, so I'll talk to you later. That's our outline for this week. See you all Tuesday in our Zooms.